The brain, I don't understand the brain. You know what else I don't understand?
What?
Food trucks.
Interesting.
Hyper Talkative.
Oh God, Ruby.
9 is divisible by 3.
9 is divisible by 3.
That's Bob and Linda's anniversary.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah.
If you had listened to the fictional characters episode, you would know that Ruby, at that point in time, Ruby hadn't seen Bob's Burgers.
No.
Now she has.
Now I've seen the first 2 episodes. Well, 1.5 because I fell
Yes.
asleep during the second one.
Yeah.
But that was because I was tired, not because it wasn't entertaining.
She was sleepy. No, Bob's Burgers, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you watch it
Very
now.
funny.
That is their anniversary, though. 9/3. 9 is divisible by 3.
And you know what else is 9?
This episode.
This is episode 9.
That is crazy. I say that every time. Literally,
How
probably.
have we not run out of things to talk
I know.
about?
We never will. And that's the
We
beauty
never
of this
will.
podcast. It's built so that even when we are 110 years old,
We will still
we
be
will
going.
still be going.
We will.
We still will not have said everything we want to say.
No, there's just so much.
Yeah, it's endless.
It really is. So I guess we should just get started
Yeah.
so we can start saying stuff. Let's get the random
yeah.
word generator going.
Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yeah, that.
Matter what you mean to me. Sorry, I had to keep
No,
going.
please. That's.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Wow.
Yeah.
That reminds me, when I was in Sooo school, #theater kid. In one of the songs, the Sour Kangaroo said R-E-S-P-E-C-K instead of R-E-S.
Respect. Oh.
Because it was.
Because it's a stupid kangaroo.
It's like Horton Hears a Who.
Oh.
No, it's not a stupid kangaroo. Because it's like Horton. Jeez, Ruby. Because it's in Seussical, it's like Horton Hears a Who is one of the stories.
Yeah.
And they live on a speck of dust.
Oh, okay. Respect.
So she was like, the Sour Kangaroo was yelling at Horton saying, "You're an
Okay.
idiot. R-E-S-P-E-C-K. Someone please take that speck away."
Oh.
Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Through the jungle, the news quickly flew. Did you hear? Did you? I'm so mad. Why can I remember all of the lyrics to every single musical I've been in, but not like my biology notes? What is with that?
No, literally same. It's the same way for me though.
Yeah.
I have an old MP3 player and I brought it out the other day to listen to like some music that was on it.
Uh-huh.
And there's a song, it's like The Way You Lie or something like that by the band
Just gonna
Perry.
stand.
No.
Oh,
No.
sorry.
It's like the way you lie. It hurts.
Is it country?
It's the band Perry.
So it's like pop country-ish.
It's not the band. It is the band Perry. Yeah, it's like pop
Yeah,
country.
I don't think I've heard
They're the
that.
ones that did If I Die Young. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard that song.
Yeah,
The
it's
other
like one of their other ones.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard it. I like forgot
Yes.
it was a song. And I came up when I was listening on my MP3 player and I remembered every
Yep.
word to it.
But
I
it's
was like-
why do our brains work like that?
I don't know. The brain.
It's goofy.
The brain, I don't understand the brain. You know what else I don't understand?
What?
Food trucks.
Interesting.
I don't get how they work. Do they put a full kitchen in a truck and just cook? Like, how is an oven in a truck?
I don't know.
I don't understand
I haven't thought
it.
about it.
I don't understand
I just
it.
I just go up and I'm like, hey, can I get like a chicken
I know,
meal?
but I walked past one the other day
Mhm.
and I was looking at it and I was like,
You were
Wait a
thinking
damn
about
minute.
it in depth.
wait a minute.
When you think about it, like, when you think about it,
when you sit and you
What
think
is
about
it?
the logistics of a food truck.
do trucks have outlets?
No.
And even so, like, it can't even just be like a two
No.
outlet. It has to be like
it has to
a big hunky boy.
fuel a oven
Yeah.
and a fridge and like all the other
Yeah.
cooking things. How do they work?
Oh my gosh. If you or anyone you know has a food truck and they
Please
want to
tell
give
us.
Ruby and I a tour, please do, because that actually, wait.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it so confusing? I don't understand. I don't really want to understand.
Yeah.
Like,
the
I
half
don't
the magic
care enough.
is
Yeah.
like, you know.
I just don't care enough to have it explained to
well,
me.
that too, yeah.
But like, I don't get it. And
yeah.
and you know, speaking of vehicles, I just found this list and this just reminded me of it, of things I'm beefing with.
Oh, this
that
is
I
a
have in my
classic.
notes.
This is a classic.
And one of the things on it is smart cars. And I think we might have talked about this before, just like off the record.
Probably.
Smart cars are so stupid to me. Like, I get it, they're environmentally friendly, whatever. But they just the rage that they bring to me.
Yeah.
I hate them. Seeing a smart car, you think you look so cool driving your smart car? No. I know that you're uncomfortable in that little car. I know you have no room.
Yeah.
I know you try to put a bag in the back seat and you can't fit it. You can get one grocery.
You can't drive anyone else.
No.
Without feeling really claustrophobic.
I know you actually hate it, but you're just trying to be cool.
Here's the thing. I more or less drove a smart car.
I know.
I drove a glorified smart car.
That's true.
I wish he was still around. I miss you so much, Luigi. But, like, the thing is, I drove a Fiat, and that is small. And I struggled with that a little bit, just like the smallness.
What were your experiences like?
Let me elaborate.
Please.
I will absolutely. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
It came with its own batch of problems.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the trunk was really small.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't fit. I don't know why.
Did you have back seats?
Yeah. But
I don't understand cars that don't have back seats. Also.
Well, it was. It was 2-door. So it wasn't a 4-door, it was 2-door. So what would happen is you'd open the door, you'd pull the seat up, and then
That freaks me out.
Really?
You're just stuck back there.
No, because the seat moves and you can get out.
No, but like, what if somebody was kidnapping you?
Well, I wouldn't kidnap anyone.
I was in an Uber once.
It was yellow, so I really couldn't.
My first time.
Not that I want to.
Well, do you want to finish your story? And then I'll do my Uber story.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
No, it's okay. So, anyways, the trunk was small. Like I said, it was 2 doors. So, you had to pull the seat out, pull the seat forward, and then other people had to get in. And basically, if you sat in the back of my car, like, you were screwed. You didn't have any room.
Yeah.
And even in, like, the passenger seat, like, my friend Mackenzie would always sit passenger seat, and he'd get so annoyed because he's so tall.
Yeah.
That, like, he would, like, be like, it's like a clown car.
It literally was.
In one of our promo videos for my school's mini-thon senior year, because I was technology chair, it was, like, gold versus red for, like, picking colors for the paint tailgate, like the paint war. And you know what a paint war is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You just, like, squirt each other with paint?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was, like, a universal high school thing.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really do that much, but, like, I know what it is.
But we were deciding between blue and gold for Minithon or, like, red and black for CV. And so it was, like, the gold team versus the red team.
Okay.
And the gold team came out of my car. Like, we pulled up in my car, which was yellow. And we all, like, it was, like, so many people came out of my car, and it was literally like a clown car.
That's so fun.
But it was like jam-packed in there. And the other thing is, too, people would... I just spat on Ruby. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. You need, like, a moist towelette? I just got really excited. Anyways, what I was going to say...
Wiping away my tears.
Sorry, Ruby. People always used to tell me, I don't know what their reasoning was for telling me this, but they'd be like, oh, Georgia, like, you drive that car, whatever, like, I'd be by my car and be like, oh, they're like, yeah, if you get into a crash in that, like, you're screwed, you're gonna die. And I was like,
what? Thanks.
Which, you know what, looking back at it now, I did get into a crash and I was fine, thank God, because, like, it could have been really bad, so I'm grateful for that. But, like, you guys jinxed me, so thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's fine.
What were you going to say? You had a story.
Yeah, my first time ever riding in an Uber alone, it was a 2-door car. And I forget the guy's... Oh, my God. The guy had a funny... I need to remember his name. It'll come to me. He was a very interesting guy. And... It was my first time going alone, so obviously I was anxious. I was literally driving like 15 minutes to the train station from Westchester. But still, like, first time in Uber alone, kind of scary.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know the etiquette. So I get there, he pulls up, and he's like, do you want to sit in the front or the back? And I was like, back. And then I realized it was a 2-door, and I wouldn't be able to get out if I sat in the back. So I was like, front, never mind, front please, front door. Front seat.
I was about to say, like, that's weird that he asked.
It's weird to sit in the front of an Uber, but, like, in that situation.
But it made sense because it was a 2-door.
Because I was like, I'm not fucking sitting back here and getting kidnapped. So then we were driving, and this man starts telling me about different, like, crystals and, like, the spiritual crystals and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was, like, telling me about these like crystal stores in Westchester and like different ones that would like benefit my life.
Oh.
And then I was like freaking out kind of because I was like still in a car with a stranger. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my dad just to like be on the phone with someone for a little bit.
Or you could have brought up one of those TikTok audios. It's like,
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah, TikTok wasn't
you're on
really
your
a
way?
thing. But yeah, I could have done that. But I literally asked him if I could make a call. The
Why did
Uber
you
driver.
ask?
I was like, can I make a call? And he was like, you don't have to ask me. I was like, I'm sorry. And then my dad didn't answer.
Oh, you should have just pretended.
Yeah, I should have. But anyways, then we made it to the train station. And let me give a little back information here.
Please do.
I had only really ever been in like the Lancaster train station and Philly's train station, which are like both nice big train stations, like full buildings that you walk in.
Yeah.
The Exton train station.
I've been in Lancaster, Philly, and New York. I was about to be like, oh, I've only been to Lancaster, New York, but I've been to Philly because I did a layover. Look at me. Anyways, sorry.
Exton train station is not like that. And so I was going to the train station, so I was expecting like a building and like people in there and like a nice like vending machines and stuff. No, Exton train station is just 2 huge outdoor concrete platforms. And I was like, what? And one of them goes one direction and one of them goes the other direction, and I didn't know which like side I was supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Also, the whole train station was under construction, so everything had like tape up and all this stuff.
Maybe they were putting a building in.
I don't think so, because I went back later. And,
really?
Yeah.
That's
and
so weird.
So he drops me off, and I'm like,
this is the right place?
Okay, where do I go? So I walk up this like weird concrete path up to the one side, and I'm standing there, and I'm the only person in the entire place. And I was like, what? So I call my mom, and I'm like what side am I supposed to be on? Because I think one was going towards like maybe like Harrisburg or something, and one was going towards like Philly.
Hey, Harrisburg.
And I didn't know which one like to be on, that my train, because my train didn't say like which side, and there weren't things showing like.
Ruby, this is sketchy.
Just wait.
Oh God.
So I'm standing
Did you
there.
Did you get on like a train that took you to like Hogwarts? Like
no,
9
I
and a half?
wish. 9 3/4.
That's what I said, I think.
Anyways. No, this guy walks up with a huge duffel bag. I was like, my body is going to end up in that duffel bag. And he literally was standing so close to me. So I called my mom again, and I'm like, Mom, there's a guy here. There's a guy with a duffel bag.
It's like, all a part of their master
she's like,
plan.
Ruby, don't freak out. Like, he could just be a nice guy. I was like, no, Mom. Like, he was creepy looking. Like, and he was carrying a huge duffel bag
Maybe
that could
he
fit
thought
a body.
the same thing about you.
Probably. And then I was like, I don't even know what side to be on. And I was reading her the signs, and she was like, oh, you need to go to the other side. That's where your train's going to be coming on. And I was like, how the heck do I get there?
Yeah.
So I have to go all the way down, walk under this bridge, and up to the other side. I get to the other side. Guess who followed me? The man walks up behind me.
Stop.
I was like, Mom, he's still here. Mom, he's still here. She's like, Ruby, deep breaths. I'm like, oh my God, this is it.
This is funny, but
I
in
was
this
so
instant,
scared.
I would be shitting myself
I was
as well.
so scared.
Oh my gosh.
And literally, I was so scared. I was like, this is it. And he started kind of like scooting close, and I was like, Mom, he's getting closer, And then God, behold, thank the universe, this family shows up, waiting for their son to get off the train.
Good.
This mother, I was like, I don't even fucking care that I don't know them. I walked right over to them and was like, hey, how's it going? And struck up a conversation just so I had an ally. I had an ally.
Yeah.
Yep.
A witness.
Yep, literally. I was
That's
like,
scary.
no. Yeah, it was terrifying, but then I got on the right train and I made it home. It was great.
Round of applause.
Thank you. But it was traumatizing.
Yeah, no, that's scary.
I thought that was the end.
I honestly
thought it was
so
the
too,
end.
but spoiler alert because you're here. So
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm actually a hologram right now.
That reminds me kind of a story when I was in high school. We would go, our like music department would go to New York for a weekend. So we'd go up early Saturday, and then we'd stay overnight, and then stay Sunday and see 2 Broadway shows. And I know,
That's so
but
fun.
like other schools went to Disney. We never went to Disney.
Real quick, can I just side note something really fast?
Yeah. That's our whole gig.
My 8th grade field trip was to Brandywine Battlefield. You want to know where Jana went? Jana went to Washington, D.C. I went to Brandywine Battle.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what battle I don't even know what war the battle at Brandywine was in. I can tell you nothing. We were forced to stand in a line with fake wooden guns and do army drills and learn about the barracks. The only part I enjoyed is we got to write with quills. With feathered quills. And Jaina went to Washington, D.C.
And that was the highlight of the trip. Meanwhile, Jaina's like seeing,
Jaina's like
Abe
Lincoln
on the big chair.
The memorial.
Yeah.
The monument.
The monument,
The White House. No.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyways,
sorry.
continue. But that just brought up a painful
So
memory.
we would go to New York and we would take these big
Must be
coach
nice.
buses. Okay. We would take these big coach buses. There would be 2 usually because the music department was big school. And we were driving home. And so I'm on the one bus. I'm sitting next to my friend Sophie and like my other friend Grace. And like, my squad is around me. And this driver just like picked up the mic. We don't know who he is because he's like, when you order a coach bus, he's like a coach driver. He picks up the mic and he just starts talking. And he was like, you guys know God? Like, how many of you guys, know the Lord, whatever? And, like, people were, like, raising their hands and stuff. And it was just, like, really weird because, you're not really supposed to talk.
Yeah.
And
Like,
he was like, yeah, like, I was really suicidal.
what
And
the?
I almost killed myself so many times. Like, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Were there teachers on your bus?
That's the thing. No.
What?
It was just like
Valley.
It was like chaperones, like parents. Like my friend's mom was there. Like it was just
At least it were adults.
yes, but like
still.
all of the musical. Wait, I don't think the musical director was there. But like the orchestra teacher and the choir teacher were all on the other bus, so it's like we didn't have like a school person, which was weird.
Yeah, that is.
And so he's talking about like suicide and like killing himself and all this stuff and like a dark time in his life. And, like, people were flipping out.
As he's driving
like,
you.
Yes. My friend Sophie started crying. And
oh my
because
God.
she thought, like, he was going to, like...
Be going to suicide mission.
Right. And, like, everyone was freaking out. Like, the parents were like, what should we do? What should we do? And someone had texted one of the teachers on the bus and was like, hey, he's saying some pretty, like, sketchy things, whatever.
That's so scary.
So we ended up pulling over. I don't know what it was, but we ended up pulling over. And my choir teacher got on the bus. And my choir teacher doesn't do shit. Like, literally, he got on the bus, and I was like, okay. Like, I don't feel any more or less safe.
What is he gonna do?
But so, honestly, I wasn't really that freaked out, which is kind of concerning.
Yeah.
But, like, my friends were, and I was like, okay. Like, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, but everyone else was, like, flipping out. I was like, okay, I'll flip out, too.
Yeah.
Ah! And then I remember we arrived at the high school, safe and sound. And I got off the bus, and my best friend Mackenzie, was on the other bus. And he, like, got off the bus, and he was like, get out of my way. And he was like, Georgia, oh, my God. He gave me a hug, and he goes, I thought I was going to lose you. And I was like,
God.
what? I was like, he was just talking about his life. I was like, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. And he was like, no, like, everyone on our bus was saying that he hijacked the bus and was going to crash. And I was like, okay, like, word of mouth went a bit far here. But... That was weird.
That's so funny.
I brought out my choir teacher in that story. And I want to talk about him. He's an interesting man. And our relationship was very interesting. I'm not going to say his name. I'm just going to call him...
Mr. Choir.
Mr. Choir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mr. Choir. I did choir, obviously, all throughout high school. And it's tough because I sing. I don't really think I'm that good of a singer. But clearly I am because I was in the musical and I got parts. But I never really enjoyed choir. It was something I did to do the musicals, because it's like, it's all corrupt in there.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, you have to be involved in the musical and all this stuff to be in the musical and get far. So you got to, like, slide in there. And, the more I get older, the more respect I have for him. And I kind of realized that I was kind of a pain. But at the same time, like, this is high school choir. Like,
it's not that deep.
It's not that deep, thank you. And so we had like an elite choir called Soaring Voices that you had to audition for. So basically like it was all the musical kids and like a couple other people who really just liked singing. So it was the time of day when I got to see all my friends. And he made the mistake of putting me next to my best friend Mackenzie.
Uh-oh.
And we are notoriously an iconic duo, have been for years.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, like what do you think you're going to do there? You think we're going to sit there quietly and not talk? Yeah. So I sit next to Mackenzie, you know, I also sat next to my friend Katie, who listens to this podcast. Shout out Katie Nardello. We love you.
Katie and I had bio together.
Yes,
Period.
yes. She goes to Millersville, you know.
Love Katie.
But so she sat next to me and like all my friends are around me. And I talk and I never shut up.
No.
You know, especially in choir. I don't enjoy it. And the one time, one of my friends, Ishan, he had choir every other day. And so when he didn't have choir, he had like a TSA thing. So when he wasn't in choir, he would often just stroll through the hallways. And the one time, like, he was going on a walk and he passed the choir room. The way that the choir room is set up is the choir risers face the door. Yeah. And then the piano faces us. So Mr. Choir was facing us. And I could see Ishan go by. He walked by and we made eye contact as soon as he walked by. And then he walked back. And he stood there waving.
Oh,
and he was
no.
like, and keep in mind, I had gotten yelled at. Not yelled at. We as a group had gotten yelled at for talking too much. Was it directed towards me? Yeah, absolutely. Keep in mind, we had already gotten, you know, told, like, guys, shut up. And so Ishan walks by. He's standing there waving. And the thing about Ishan is he's not going to, like, be like, oh, like, you're in
he's
class.
Not gonna back
he's
down.
going to stand there and be like, Georgia, wave to me. So I was like, Mr. Choir whipped his head around, looked in the door, and by the time he looked in the door frame, it was literally a movie. By the time he looked in the door frame, Ishan had jumped out. So he sees nothing. He looks back at me. He slams his head. His head. He slams his hands down on his piano, and he goes, "Can you not?" And looks at me. And I was like, and he was like, "You are the problem. You are the reason why this choir is constantly distracted. You never stop talking, whatever." And I'm not going to lie to you. I was trying so hard not to laugh. Because I'm sitting next to Mackenzie, and he is horrible at hiding his, like, emotions, and so am I. And he's like...
I would have been laughing.
He, like, covered his mouth and, like, turned his face, and I was like, oh, my God. And then he goes, "See me after class in my office." And I was like...
Am I about to be kicked out of soaring voices?
We just resumed choir as usual. I was like very good on my best behavior.
Real quick, was it called that because you're the Eagles?
Yes.
That's clever. That's
soaring
clever.
voices, soaring
Eagles. Yeah. Okay.
So then, you know, class is over, and then he goes, "And I'd also like to see Mackenzie and Jack, who is my other friend who we would always talk." And I was like, "Ooh, we're all getting yelled at." And it was so funny. We were just, like, standing outside his office, and they were like, "Georgia, you going first?" I, like, walked in. I sat down. He was at his desk, like, typing away. And then he, like, puts his computer aside, and he puts his hands, like, what do you call that?
Crosses them?
He crosses his hands, and he goes, "So what's going on?" And I was like, "Are you asking me why I got in trouble?" Or like, and he was like, No. We both know why you're in trouble. I'm asking, like, is there some miscommunication on my part? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you just kind of screamed at me in front of the entire class, and now we're going to have a heart-to-heart? Like, I don't think
know
so.
About that.
So it was just like a funny little moment.
Oh, gosh,
and
Mr. Choir.
It was like a thing from that point on that, like, Mr. Choir hated me. And it was like, everyone in the class kind of, got in trouble and was like, "Oh, be quiet," but like I got screamed at.
Yeah.
He also
would you not? That's so funny.
I'm the problem. But it was like everyone was like, "Georgia, you're the problem." I'd be
That's
like,
That's so funny. That's like my sister and I, and then our two friends Alyssa and Andrew, who are like basically siblings. We've grown up together. We have this thing where if anything goes wrong, we blame Jaina, and we say, "Oh, it's just blame Jaina Day." Because every time she would go over to their house, she would break something. Like, she has broken so many of their plates and glasses.
Jaina!
And literally, like, not trying. It just would happen.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, "Oh, it's blame Jaina Day." So, like, if, like, somebody fell sick or the dog got out, like anything happened, we'd be like, "Oh, it's blame Jaina Day. Jaina's the problem. You're the problem."
Period. It's the younger siblings.
It really is. This is so random.
Okay.
But throwback to your bus driver story.
Yes.
When you said that he was bringing up, like, God,
Mm-hmm.
I have a really interesting story that happened to me.
I know what this is, I think.
When I almost got trafficked at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Not what I thought this was.
I know what you were
be.
going for.
Okay.
And I need to tell this story on a public platform.
Okay.
And I haven't told it to you before.
Mm-hmm.
So
You haven't? Yeah.
I've been holding
She
off.
made me wait. She was like, I want to bring this up on the podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you. And I was like,
I need your genuine reaction.
Okay.
So I used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Mm-hmm.
And only for a couple months because it was awful. It was literally the worst job I've ever had. But one day I was working on cashier or I was a cashier working on cash register, whatever. And this woman is in line. She's like the only one at first. She only has like one thing and she comes up and she's on my register and I'm like, hello. And we're just chatting. I ring up her one item.
What was that item? Do you remember?
I think it was some golf thing. She said it was for her husband. If she's married, God bless that man.
Interesting.
Yeah, but you're gonna lose your shit, Georgea.
How does this have to do with God?
Just wait.
Okay.
So she looks at my name tag and she's like, "Do you want to know what your name reminds me of?" And I was like, "Sure," thinking she'll say like The Rock, that Ruby is.
Ruby. Oh, I thought
Not
you meant
not
like,
Dwayne the Rock.
I thought you meant
Johnson.
Dwayne the Rock. I was like,
Yeah, we resemble
doing the
each
math
other.
in my head.
No. Like the gem.
Yes. Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, there's this one Bible verse that has your name in it and it's saying something like the ruby is like the most precious thing or something."
So true.
Yeah, I was like, damn straight. So she like says this quote and she starts going on and is like, "You are just so precious and so special." She looks to my coworkers, which I was like a month in at this time, so I still wasn't like on great terms with my coworkers. I was like the newbie.
Right.
And
not
she's
that
like,
close.
"This girl is so great at her job and so amazing. You all should be so blessed that you work with her."
I mean, true, but why
was
are
like,
you
yeah,
causing a
but-
scene?
Just you wait. It gets so much more. And I'm like, okay. In my little like headset, all my coworkers are like, "Do you know her?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." So at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna start going along with what she's saying. Like, I was being nice. I was being customer servicey. She starts talking to me more about like how important God is to her and how she's very religious. And she was like, "I love like enlightening people on God and the Bible." She was like, literally, this part is a direct quote. She was like, "One time I went to the gas station and this girl came up to me and said she had spread her legs before marriage and I helped her like renew her or like rescind her sins or whatever."
Why is she telling you
And I
all
was
this?
like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, but like don't worry, I helped save her." And I was like, mind you, I'm atheist. Can we just get that out of the blue
Yeah,
here?
there
I
it
used
is.
to go to church, but I'm an atheist
There
now.
it is.
Anyways, I just needed to add that for context. And so I was like, "Oh, okay," like just going along with it. And she's like, "You should come to my church sometime. It's out in this like building and I play music there." And I was just like, I'm just gonna fucking go along with it. And I was like, "Yeah, I play music at my church too." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to come to my church and play music with me one night." And I was like,
one
"Oh."
night?
And she goes, "Give me a piece of paper. I'm going to write down my phone number." So she writes down her phone number. And then she goes, "Well, sometimes this one doesn't work for some reason. So here's a second one. And sometimes this one doesn't work. So here's a third. Put them all in a group chat and text it. And one of them will answer." I was like, "What? Why do you have... What?"
No.
It gets worse. So I'm like, "Ha ha ha. Okay, yeah, I will." She starts going on and on again about the whole, like, "You're so precious and so beautiful and so amazing at your job," and blah, 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 blah. And mind you, this is like 15, 20 minutes. She had one item. There's a line forming behind her. Like, I have other customers to take care of. At the end of the conversation, she's like, "Thank you so much for talking to me. Like, this was just so special." She holds out her hand for, like, a high five. I go for the high five. She grabs my hand and kisses it.
What?
She literally
No.
grabs,
No.
kisses
No.
wettest,
No.
most slobbery kiss.
Oh God.
I literally
Ew.
was like, "What?"
I am literally just like,
I ripped my hand away. It was like,
good.
"Goodbye." And after all my coworkers came up to me, they were like, do you know who that lady was? And I was like, I have no clue, but I think I almost just got trafficked.
Yeah.
And I brought the phone numbers home and like show my mom, and she was like, oh my God. And she literally was about to text the lady and be like, don't mess with my daughter. But I was like, don't do that, because then she'll have your phone number.
Then
but it was so scary.
That's horrifying.
Right? The fact that she kissed my hand, I was like, no. And gave me 3 phone numbers to go to her church. I was like, I don't think so.
No. I don't like that at all.
No, it was so scary.
I have a church story.
Oh, okay.
But it's lighthearted.
Oh,
so
good.
we can, scare our viewers and then happy them.
Yeah.
So, I've grown up going to church, always have, and when I was younger, I would go to like the kids club, and then when I got into middle school, I'd go to youth group, stuff like that. And I was at a church, and it's not the church I go to now. It was a different church that I went to before I go to the church that I went to now. And I want to say I was in 4th grade, and my siblings are older, so like my sister and my brother would go to youth group, and they'd be with the middle schoolers, and I would be with like the K through 5. Like, it wasn't youth group, but it was kids group. And, we'd start out, we'd play a game, we'd eat dinner, and then we'd talk about Jesus. And I didn't have friends in this
that
was
your bullying.
Yes. And so we were playing, we'd play games like Gaga Ball and,
I love Gaga.
classic like outdoor games. So I think it was raining, so we were inside, and our youth leader was like, we're going to play freeze dance. And I was like, yes, this is my moment to shine. I'm going to make so many new friends. Like, I love dancing because I was a dancer at the time. And I didn't know that I was bad then. So I would just dance, and I loved performing growing up.
Yeah.
Which is why I did theater. Like, I would make my parents and my sister and my brother, like the whole family, come in the basement and watch me dance around.
Same.
And, they really loved to like hype me up and be like, get it, Georgia, you know, like it was like a bit of a mocking because,
I grew up with the same thing.
Yes, it's like, but it's all in love, you know what I mean? And I had this one move that was like my iconic move, and it was called the shake and bake.
Oh no. Oh, I know where this is.
I literally, it's like if you're on video, you can see me doing it, but you push your arms out and then you bring them into your shoulders and you push them out. And when you do that, it is thrusting. I thrust, and I would do this, and I was so aggressive with it.
Have you seen Little Miss Sunshine?
No.
You need to watch it because you are the girl in it.
Really?
We'll continue, but you are watching it.
I think there's another name for this move. I don't know what it is, but that's just what we called it.
Pump?
Maybe.
Something.
But it was literally thrusting. I was literally thrusting, and when I would do this, my family would hype me up because it's funny. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Whatever.
Yeah.
Innocence. So I'd do that, and that was like my iconic move. So, back to church. I think we all know where this is going. I'm like, yes, this is my time to shine. I'm going to make so many friends. I'm going to win. Like, I'm a great dancer. I pull out the shake and bake.
Oh, no.
And I'm getting it in, and everyone's kind of, like backing up away from me. I'm going off. The music stops. I freeze. I play the game. The leader pulls me aside. She's like this old lady. Like, her kids had kids. So she was like a grandma, know. I don't know how old she was. I don't want to try to guess. But she pulls me aside and she goes, you cannot dance like that. And I was like, what? And she goes, your dance moves are entirely inappropriate. Like, you are going to sit aside for the rest of freeze dance. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, like, this is the worst experience in my entire life. I think I cried.
Probably.
I was like, my dance career is over. She just crushed my dreams. How dare she? God is not real. Whatever. Like, I didn't
She said, I'm not a believer.
But I was like so dramatic, and I was like, I hate this. And I like sat down, and this leader actually contacted my mom afterwards as well and was like, your daughter is dancing inappropriately during freeze dance. Like, you need to like fix this. This is not like God's way. This is not Jesus' way. Like, this is not tolerated. My mom was like,
she sinned.
Thank you so much for letting me know, whatever. She didn't say anything to me. She told me like a couple years down the line, like, by the way, like that time, like she had told me. But I was crushed, Ruby, because I thought that I was going to be a professional dancer, and she crushed my dreams.
The shake and bake, we're bringing it back.
Yeah, we are. It was just funny.
That reminds me of this story. And it's like same vibes. So my mom used to work in our church's office. So sometimes.
So did mine.
Oh my God. So sometimes we would go there like on weeknights or weekdays.
Yeah.
And just like hang out in like the kind of like this one like room of the church, and she would be in the office next door.
Mm-hmm.
And there are these like columns from the ceiling to the floor in that room, and like they're not like huge columns, but they were a little bit bigger than poles. Yeah, but they were just like a normal size.
Okay.
And my sister and I, we were just bored. We're just hanging out in there, just us two.
So true.
We start, in a sense, pole dancing. Spinning around the poles.
Right, but you didn't know it.
Doing some stuff. My mom comes to pick us up. We're like, hey, Mom, we made up this new thing. We call it pole dancing.
You did not
She was like,
that. You did not say that.
She was like, oh,
did you?
whoa. And we demonstrated.
Oh.
And we just pole danced in the church.
Wow.
We're pole dancing in the church.
For Jesus.
For Jesus.
That's so special, Ruby.
It really is. Okay, so our first word was respect.
Oh my.
And we ended with inappropriate church dancing.
Respect to disrespect, baby.
Period.
Yeah, that's
full circle.
Full circle moment here at Hyper Talkative Podcast.
First full circle moment.
Yeah, like truly.
That truly, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good episode.
That's
I feel
so
good
funny.
about this. Lots of storytelling.
A lot of
We
stories.
always tell stories, but I think
sometimes
we mix it in.
Yeah, sometimes it's more like quizzes and polls and hot takes.
But this was a lot of storytelling, and I like that.
I did too.
Love storytelling.
We've got a lot of funny things that happen to us.
Oh yeah.
The fact that we both have stories of us inappropriately dancing at church.
That's iconic.
That really is.
And
you can't
my
tell
bus
us
story and
and my Uber story and getting
yeah.
trafficked at Dick's.
Anyways,
thanks so much for listening to episode 9 of Hyper Talkative.
It's crazy that we have 9 episodes, but
this is
cool that you guys stuck
wild.
around for this long. You know,
I mean,
we love to do it.
Thank you so much. Cheers to 9 more.
So true. Cheers. Woo! Let's go over our social media because I don't know if you guys know it.
But we have social media.
We do.
We have a presence.
We have Instagram and TikTok. Ruby, what's the @?
At Hyper Talkative Podcast.
And Twitter.
At Hyper Talkative.
And a website.
www.hypertalkativepodcast.com.
And you know what? We have a link tree. Where's it at?
It's in all of our bios, guys. You can do everything and more on it.
So true.
You can watch the podcast. You can listen to the podcast. You can
listen to a playlist that we made.
You can shop our merch.
So true.
Kind of. We're still working on it, guys. Look, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, we say that every episode.
We're broke.
Yeah.
We're trying to be small business owners.
To be fair, we did have a meeting about it.
And then we realized that all of our the things that we thought we could do, we can't.
Yes. So we're just it's under construction. We'll let you guys know.
Yep.
We'll keep you updated.
Yep.
But in the meantime, you can watch us on video. That's an upgrade that we've had. So
that's
cool.
pretty much the only thing you would ever need.
So true. Yeah.
Like just watch us. So thanks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
As always,
peace be with you.
And with you, Ruby.
That's so fitting for this churchy ending.
Talked about the,
Aww, we love you, Jesus.
Peace.
Peace.
Hyper Talkative Podcast is brought to you by us. Just us.
Unless you want to sponsor us. Wink, wink.
Hyper Talkative is recorded at the Candy Factory Co-working and Social Club in downtown Lancaster.
Our theme music was done by help from Johnny Jed Music, and the show is recorded, edited, and published by Georgea and Ruby Murdoch.